Our next platform type is going to be a moving platform, something that the player can land on and move along with. To get started, I want to use maybe these planet platforms. I think that these look different enough and will be an indicator that this platform is going to move. You could use whatever you want, but I think that this one kind of fits well with what I'm thinking. So I'm going to start by dragging a planet mid right out onto platforms and creating a new platform from scratch. I'll name this moving platform 6. I'm going to make it 6 units wide. I'm going to move it over here to the right, holding control so that I get that quarter by quarter snapping, and move it over to, let's just type in maybe an 11. There we go. And then I'll scale it up. So to do that, I'm going to change the draw mode again from simple to tiled, just like we did before. And since I want this to be 6 wide and I want to have end pieces on it, I'm going to set a width of 4. Now it does say that the tiling might not be right because it's not set to full rect. So I'm just going to go set it to full rect on all 3 of the ones that I'm using. I know it's not an issue, but I'm going to set it anyway. Let's go find it right here instead of tight. Full rect, just got to find the right drop down, and then that should get rid of that little warning, and I can add in my right and left. So I'll take the right, drag it on to be a child of the moving platform. Did it drop on? Nope. Let's try that one more time. Drag it and drop it. There we go. Got it in the right spot. Now notice that it's right here in the middle though. It's at 0, 0, 0. It says -11, but that's because it's offset from this thing's +11. I'm just going to take this planet right, hold control, and drag it over so that it gets right into place. It looks like at about 2.5. I do the same thing with the planet left, drop it onto the moving platform. Gotta get that drop right. There we go. And then hold control and snap it over into place. Now I'll go to my moving platform. I want to modify, or actually I need to add a collider. So I'll add a box collider 2D, expand it out, and then let's set the size to be right. You can see right here the green is pretty small. We're at 1 unit by 1 unit. This is supposed to be a 6 wide one, so a value of 6 seems about right. Look like that just hit the edges, and you can see if I grab and drag it up, it's going just past the edges and just inside. So we want to set this to 6. Now I've got my platform. It should just work as a normal platform. There's nothing special about it. Basically recreated the 6 platform. Let's just go double check that though. Make sure that I'm not crazy before we start making it move. So we'll run over here any second now. As soon as it finishes completing the domain. There we go. And run over. There was completing a domain reload. I just finished in the middle sentence. There we go. It can land on the platform. Looks good. So now I want this platform to move. We're going to need a new script for that. We're going to create a moving platform script. And to do that, we'll go into the scripts folder, right click, choose create, and choose C# script. Call this moving platform with a capital M and a capital P. Again, no spaces in our script names. And we'll hit enter. That should open up the code editor. Probably won't go to the right thing, but it does look like it got my moving platform file opened here. Now, if it doesn't happen for you, of course, just go back into the editor, double click the file again, and it'll probably find it. Or you can go over to the right into the Solution Explorer and then find it down here. You might have to expand out your assets and scripts, but it should be there. All right, now that we've got our update and our start method here, it's time to start writing code for our moving platform. Well, first thing I want to do actually is delete my start method because I don't want to do anything at the beginning of the life cycle of this moving platform yet. What I want to do instead is keep track of 2 positions, a starting and an ending position, and then move this platform between them. I'll call those positions I could call them like left and right, but then if I make a platform that goes up and down, it might not make sense. So I'll call them positions 1 and position 2. We'll make them serialized fields. So I'll start with a serialized field of a vector 3, and we'll call this underscore position 1. I'll duplicate it with Control or Command D and now have a position 2. In the update method, what I want to do now is move my character between the left and the right, or position 1 and position 2, some % of the way. So let's start by just making it so that we can control this in the editor. And we'll say transform.position equals, and we're going to get a position in between position 1 and 2. And to do that, we'll use the vector3 .lerp method, which does a linear interpolation, which is going to give us a value from position 1 to position 2 based on a percentage across. So we'll put in position 1 as the first value, position 2 as the second value. And then our third value right there is a float or a parameter for the percent of the way that it's gone across. I'm going to add an underscore PCT, which will be percent, or let's spell it PERCENT. Let's say percent across. I'm going to make it a big long variable name. We'll add a semicolon and then we'll generate a field for that percent across. So hit generate field, and then I'll take the serialized field attribute and replace the private keyword with that, because don't need the private keyword, and that will make it show up in the inspector. Now I'm going to add a range attribute, range, and we'll go from 0f to 1f. And that's going to turn this percent across into a slider. Let's save, go into Unity, and attach this moving platform script to the platform. So as soon as it finishes reloading everything, I should be able to select it. Go add my moving platform. I'll minimize the box collider. Notice we've got this percent across percent across that we can fill in here. But my positions right now are set to 0 and 0 and 0, 0, 0, 0. All zeros all the way along. So if I just press play right now, it's not really going to do anything except for pop over to 0, 0. Let's just press play and verify that I'm not crazy and that that's the case. Should go right to the center and just kind of pop into here and stay there. And now no matter what I do with this slider, it's not going to change anything. Nothing's going to happen. Let's stop playing though and put in some values here. Let's say that position 1 is our current position. So 11 on the X and 0 everywhere else. And then position 2, let's just move it 5 units to the right. So we'll go a value of 16. Now I'll press play. And now it should start off in its initial position because that's position 1. And then let's go to the scene view so we can see it better. As I drag the percent across, you'll see that it's going to go across to the right to position 2. Watch that value interpolate from 1116 all the way over, and when we get to a full value here. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting is I could also adjust the Y position, like maybe make the second Y position be 3 units up or 3 meters up. Now, as I drag this, it's going to go up and to the right. Pretty cool, right? And if I did like a -3, it would go obviously down and to the right. I could adjust this to be like a maybe, let's not go with a negative, but maybe like a 4, and then suddenly it's going to go down and to the left. You can kind of get the idea of how this is going to move based on the value that we put in here. So we're going to put in a value between 0 and 1 and have it go initially just back and forth. So it'll go from the left to the right, basically by moving this percent across value up and down. All right, let's stop playing though, and let's go into Plastic and do a commit, because we've got a moving platform that we can manually control. We're almost to the point where it's automatic, and I think that this is a good check-in point. So say added a manually controlled moving platform, and we'll commit. Oh, we've got one error that popped up. If that happens, just hit check-in again, and it should save. There we go.